Yo, this is Fling with your week 5 cash lineup review. All right, DFS Army, we like to take a look back at past slates, see what we are doing right, see where maybe there are leaks in our game, what worked, what went wrong, and how we can improve going forward. So, looking back at last week, it was a crazy week because it was hard from like dissecting your process to really gather if like you were on the right place or you just ran bad because you played Nico Collins and he got hurt after he was on his way to a smash game, right? So when we look at the cash lineup, it was Jordan Love, and this is the cash line rather. So about 135 points, and we got Jordan Love and Kyron and Jordan Mason. These were all great plays, right? So was Jaden Reed. I would say where this lineup was a little risky was it had Jordan Love plus 1, 2, 3. I typically kind of cap it at 2 for cash. We're not looking to stack if they project well and it's a great game environment and it lines up, then yeah, we can allow it. But you start getting to the point where you have 3 pass catchers and a quarterback, gets a little crazy. Same thing, you got Kyron Williams here with Jordan Whittington. So you're very dependent on 2 games. And if they go to the under, you're definitely not cashing. So there is some variance here. And when you think about like hand building a lineup, I personally wouldn't hand build like this. I probably would have gone like Wandale Robinson, right? Or another one of the 4K options. I would have gone Tyrone Tracy here at 4,300 because he projected well and wide receiver chalk can definitely, specifically with guys like this, these kind of turd price players, they can definitely fail more times than not. So that is something to think about when you're building your lineup. Like, how can this fail while the game goes to the under? So you're trying to get good plays that are maybe spread out between several games. That's one way to minimize your variance. Overall, this lineup, though, really good. A lot of chalk players in good spots, and it hit the cash line. So there's nothing really to beat this lineup about. Just as far as, will this happen every week? Will I be able to cash every week if I have so many players from each game? That is something that maybe you kind of want to look at your lineup and maybe look to change in the future. So what I'm going to do now is kind of go into how DFS Army did this week with our cash process. We had some guys that kind of crushed cash again using the optimizer and have been able to be profitable on the season by proper bankroll management using the optimizer and basically setting it up from back testing and also the plays that we were on in the week for that were the best cash plays. So Grim Aries and JPV93. And then we're going to go into my cash lineup. So I chose Jordan Love. I kind of locked him as my cash quarterback this week. It was a good spot against a Rams team that's giving up. It would have been giving up the second most points allowed through 4 weeks of the season. Just a bad defense. So I liked Love. I like Jaden Reed. I loved Tucker Kraft. I thought those were some really good spots for those 3. I didn't want to do the Wicks because I thought he might be a little bit more high variance. So, I avoided Dontavian Wicks and 2 guys max, 2 pass catchers was good enough for me. I had Jordan Mason. I had Javonte Williams. Now, I didn't like Javonte. I liked Tyrone Tracy better. And you're going to see that on my sheet. But what I liked about Jordan Mason was he's getting all the opportunities and they had a high game total going against an Arizona defense that had been really good. So even though Jordan Mason kind of dudded, he was projected for so much ownership and he was in such a good spot that I just ate that chalk. Now, Javonte Williams, the domination station, the FS Army's optimizer gave him to me. And I just went with it because in Deuces we trust. You got to trust the process. We back tested this. We found out it works 76% of the weeks to get you to the cash line. So just trusted the process. Got Javonte Williams. It actually was a good spot, and he had looked good the week before, so I went with it. Michael Pittman, I really thought that he would have a much bigger day with the way he started. Still did pretty good. Got that tutty. Um, Great game environment. They ended up scoring a ton of points. So 14 points for a guy that's 6,500, like that's perfectly fine in your cash lineup. Perfectly fine. Same with Whittington. He was what 4,600 and he got 15 points. So really good for cash. The two guys that I really would like were value spots for me that I really wanted to get at least one of them was Tucker Craft and the other was Denver defense. Tucker Craft was going to be super chalk for a tight end in cash. He was like projected for 20% ownership. So I liked him in that spot. You never see a tight end, a value tight end projected for that much ownership. So it's easy chalk for me to eat. So I ate that 24 points. Did get the Cleveland D, and going against Washington, I thought it was okay because Washington was rumored to have bad offensive line issues to start the year, and overall just not be a good team. So I thought it was okay. Cleveland at home going against Washington. The domination station gave me Cleveland. I went with it. Denver D, which we're going to see on my cheat sheet, was what I really liked. However, won about 70% of my head to heads. So it ended up being a profitable week, lower scoring cash week overall. Good cash weeks. I'm going to win 90% of my head to heads plus. And this week it wasn't quite there, but still was able to be profitable using the domination station. So for DFS Army subscribers, you have the access to the domination station for your cash lineups. You have access to cheat sheets, which we're going over now. This is actually the last day to get 50% off a DFS Army VIP subscription. You can use code VIP50 at checkout. I will put the link in the video description. This will give you all the tools, all sports, last few hours to get that in. So definitely make sure you take advantage of that. So these were my cash quarterbacks to start. I had Daniels. I had Love. I think Love was in a little bit of a better spot. He had that 100 rating, and I think it was the right play. He didn't score a ton of points, but it didn't matter. It was enough in cash, and then did pretty well at running back. Obviously, Jordan Mason did not get there, but I think the process was right. The guys that I really like, Kyron, you saw him in my cash lineup. He was in a great spot. Game script doesn't matter for him at this point. He gets a lot of volume. He gets all the goal line, the most of the goal line carries, and he got there. Henry, I thought, was a good play as well. And then Chuba Hubbard was the guy I liked, and Tyrone Tracy was my pay down option. What I liked about Tracy was you could fit both Mason and Kyron or Henry and Kyron into your lineup. So I liked the pay down for Tracy, and he actually did really well. I didn't hand build my cash lineup, so he wasn't in there, but he certainly would have got there. Nico Collins was on his way to smashing. He wasn't in the optimal either, so it ended up working out. But he was on his way to a smash day, so it might have gone differently, of course, if he had not gotten hurt. Reed did well. Deontay did not do well, but I did not play him in that spot. I liked, I was on Deontay more earlier in the week, but Chicago has good secondary. And once the value opened up, I preferred Jaden Reed. I preferred Pittman. Pittman at 100 less with Joe Flacco was an easy decision for me over Deontay. So I like that. And then, I liked all these value guys. Robinson, Wicks, and Whittington, but I did not want both Wicks and Reed in my lineup because I was planning on playing Tucker Craft. You'll see here, 5 stars Tucker Craft. Was very bullish on him. Also loved the Denver D. Those were definitely 2 decisions that if you hand built your cash lineup, definitely could have got you to the cash line having both of those. So really needed. Yeah, that's going to do it for the week 5 cash lineup review. Thanks for joining me for this. DFS Army subscribers, of course, done well in cash this year. And just follow on the chalkboard, follow on the domination station, follow on the cheat sheet. So make sure that, if that's something you want to be a part of, get access to that half off your first month. If you like it, you can stay. If you don't, you can cancel. But definitely try it out. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because we got a lot more content coming your way. That's going to do it for this week in review. We'll see you next time.